Hey, this is Mike with Christian Meds. This is part 4 of breaking down this Biblical Christian Meditation PDF. I'll link it in the description down below. So let's get started. So basically we're on page 4. Really the next big block of scriptures is the works of God, which is the second bullet point in the blue box. The first one is on page 3, which is what is the object of meditation. So, really when it comes to meditation and breaking it down in the Bible, the second part here is they want you to concentrate on the works of God. Well, when you start thinking about the works of God, you start realizing that the whole construct that we live within was created by Him. And that He deserves glory for, and so much of the time we take it for granted. We don't really think about, how amazing it is that we get to not only have a sacrifice in His Son, which is remarkable in its own right, but the construct that we get to live within. In other words, that we can not only, live, breathe, make choices, and, choose to love or to hate. We also, get to see beautiful mountains and sunsets and rainbows and beautiful colors. All those things we should be giving credit to God for. And if we take our time and don't get so locked into the rat race, it actually does help us, see the glory of God all around us. So when it comes to the works of God, we're not supposed to worship the creation, but we should admire the creation through our free will to allow us to give glory back to God. And everything that we see that's beautiful, you know that He created it. So even if it's a beautiful painting, those beautiful paintings are most of the time inspired by landscapes or seascapes, that were designed by God. They might have the imprint of man on them, but they wouldn't exist as a canvas without Him. So, these are some of the things we should be meditating on, that we understand that we are, allowed to interact in God in so many levels, on the creation level, that we have a construct that we can, live and operate in. We have the ability to glorify the Son through meditation, be thankful and generous to Him for His good works on the cross that allows us to be in right standing. All these types of things are really important when it comes to, the types of things you should be meditating on, the types of things that you should be growing with God with. So that's really part of the thing, and, that every part of creation, in fact, has a purpose that God laid out. That's just amazing, that He has never lost control, that He has control of your salvation, and that He's trying to, conform us to the image of His Son. I think of so many times in the Garden of Gethsemane, when the disciples kept falling asleep, when Christ was pleading, if there's another way, take this cup from me, when He knew there truly was not any other way, that He still, but it just was to understand the weight of sin that was placed upon Him. There's so many people around us that are hurting. There's so many people around us that need strengthening. You know, part of meditation can also be prayer, you know, and that is so powerful when it comes to, you know, the true believer, the believer that really does understand that this stuff works, that this stuff matters, and that our prayers are just another way to glorify God. But just, you know, the big thing is that we're not supposed to worship the creation, but that creation is just another way for us to meditate on, to say, I'm so glad that you've created this so that I can get to know you. You know, that's part of the whole thing when it comes to meditation. It's trying to get to know God better. So those are just some of my thoughts this week. I'm struggling a little bit. I don't feel great. But just have a blessed week.